Hello out there, all you thoughtfully made people. It's Courtney Morrison with Made Architecture, and I'm back with another week in review. January 29th. Last Sunday, we ran out for, or Saturday, ran out for donuts with my daughter for breakfast, but most of it was a rainy day, and we stayed in. And then on Sunday, the weather had cleared out a little bit. It was still cold and windy. We went to church and started raking the yard uh, before before the week started on Monday. So on Monday, my wife had jury duty this week, which upset the whole family and work schedule a little bit. Thankfully, that was only Monday and Tuesday. She didn't end up serving on a case, but she was there on call for jury duties. That was kind of a snafu in the schedule. And had a tough conversation on Monday with a prospective client. And this is something that I realize is just part of the job. I'm not complaining about it. It's just part of what I have to do. And so this particular client, he had done a little bit of drawing in a home design software. He kind of knew what he thought he wanted, and we talked through that. And looked like it was going to be a pretty exciting project. He wanted to do an ICF house and with a solar array and an ERV, and so it's going to be a really efficient house and constructed in a cool and unique way. And so we start talking through it. I'm really interested in doing it because it really kind of checks the box of that resilient housing. And I say, what do you want to spend? And he said, as little as possible. And I said, okay, what is that? And he tells me his number, and it's about a third of what I think he needs to build. And so he's kind of upset, and he says, well, I don't have that. I said, I understood. I said, but that's what I think it's going to take to get a house of this caliber done. And I said, but what I don't want to do, and what I think is dishonest to do, is to take your money, you pay me for drawing some amount that we agree upon, not a full service set by any means, but hey, okay, pay me a few $1,000s. I'll draw up your plans, dust my hands of it and send you on your way. But then you can't build it. And I said, listen, I'm not going to take your money. Like, that's dishonest. Like, if you don't have the budget that I think it's going to take for you to build your house, and you don't have a contractor who you're in a relationship with who can say, yeah, I think that's reasonable or unreasonable, I'm relying on my number and my expertise to qualify you as a client to be able to build the house. Yes, I'm an architect and I make drawings. That's true. But I want projects to get built. That's how clients get served, is they get to live in the things that we design. And so it doesn't make sense to me to just take some money from you so I can put lines on paper and send you on your way. That's bad business. It's bad service. It's not what I'm about. It's not what I'm going to do. And I felt like having the tough conversation with him up front before he spent any money was the best way for me to serve him. And that's what I did, and that's what I'll continue to do. And so I would love clients who have the money to build the jobs for sure. But for those who don't, I'm not going to be dishonest. I'm not going to feed the pipe dream. Oh, that you can build this building for whatever X dollars a square foot. So that happened Monday. Again, I'm not upset about it. It's just part of the business. I just, I wish it wasn't the case, because it is disappointing. But it would be a lot more disappointing if he couldn't build that house after he had drawings in hand. So that was Monday. Tuesday, I have a house down south of the city that hopefully is going to start construction here in Q1. I had a call with the interior designer to go over some things. The house has been on hold for a bit and is coming back online. And so I had a coordination call with them to talk through their scope. We're going to have a meeting with the client here soon and kind of pick up where we left off and plot the next steps forward. So I talked to the interior designer. I also talked to the structural engineer for that house. He had some questions. I mentioned in last week's video I had gone and met with him, and so he had some follow-up questions. So we were working through that. And then I have this dining hall ceiling renovation that I'm working on, and have been doing some work on that this week to get that set really to probably a 80 or 90% level. We've got some detail to add in, and the interior designer who I'm partnered with is reviewing the set and will give me her comments, and we'll coordinate, and then hopefully next week we'll get that one out the door. So that'd be great. On Wednesday, I had lunch with a former coworker. He was in charge of business development at a firm I used to work for. And so I've said, one of my goals this year is to do a better job of connecting with people. And so I thought, well, let's talk to him. It was his job to connect with people. That's what he did. And so I took him to lunch and asked him questions and things about his role with the previous firm and how he did what he did and things like that. It was a great lunch, great to catch up. We're similarly aged, similarly stages of life. And so it was just nice to talk to him and get some words of encouragement, words of wisdom. So really appreciate doing that. If you have those people in your life, cherish them, use them, treat them well, and take their words of knowledge and wisdom and encouragement seriously and do something with them. So had a meeting after that on Wednesday with a prospective client who's going to do a master bedroom addition, and it's going to be 2 stories. They want a garage underneath, and the goal, which is really admirable, is they don't want to move. So they're going to do this addition to get a master bedroom on the main level so that they can age in place. And so I'm going to design the house with that in mind. And so this is part of the thoughtfully made aspect of what we do, is that this is going to be unique to them. It's not it's actually a really traditional house. It's not crazy modern. There's nothing really spectacular about the existing house, but we're going to transform it into something that they're going to be able to use in the years going forward. And so I'm really excited about them as a prospect. I hope that job comes through. It was great to meet them on Wednesday and talk about their ambitions for the house and the project. And so really excited to be able to serve them, and I hope that one comes through. On Thursday, I had coffee with a young structural engineer. He's somewhat new to the area, started an engineering firm here, and we actually connected on LinkedIn. He found me, and again, this being the year of connection, I went and met him for coffee, and we talked and really had a great conversation and seemed really aligned on our objectives in the business and what we want to do and who we want to do it for. And so it was really good to hear his perspective on his side of the business, hear his heart and his passion behind structural engineering and how he does it and what his experience is. And so I was able to share mine with him. And so hopefully we'll get some jobs together going forward. It was just really great to make a new connection. And so I really appreciated him making the time to do that. And then Thursday afternoon, I went to the Marietta Business Association networking event. This is my 3rd time in a row. Finally felt like I spoke well in front of the crowd. There was a record number of people, 74 people there. And so I feel like I'm maybe coming into my own a little bit, and I have some ideas of ways that I can expand my elevator pitch and offer some more value to them just in the 60 seconds that I have. So this is part of practicing that. That is part of practicing this. And so they're going hand in hand, and hopefully over time, I will improve my public speaking abilities, my presentation abilities, my abilities to convey things in a clear and concise manner. So did that on Thursday. I was excited for that. Friday, did a little work this morning, and then had a peer group call at 1. Actually, that's not true. I wrote a proposal this morning is what I did, and got that out the door for the Owner Suite Edition. And then there's another proposal I'll talk about in a second. I had a peer group call today at 1, just with a network of other architects, some here, 1 or 2 in LA, and we just get on the phone and talk. And I've mentioned this call before. If you don't have a group like this, you need a group like this. There's no mastermind. There's no we're conquering the world together or whatever. It's just a group of friends coming together with a common goal of building each other up and offering advice and anecdotes and things like that. And so if somebody has a specific problem, great, bring it. We'll talk about it. If you're just there to chat, that's fine too. Let's tell some stories and have a good time. So that's really nice. I do that once a month. Highly recommend if you need a peer group, find one. It's well worth it. And then this afternoon I had a meeting with a mentor who I've known for a number of years. I've mentioned him on previous videos as well, I think, and just cannot overstate the value of somebody like this in your life. I am learning more and more about my business and how I should run it and structure it and keep track of it financially and from a sales pipeline standpoint. And he took an hour this afternoon and walked through this stuff with me to help me begin to understand my business in a different way. and we talked about projections and the sales funnel and CRM and things like that. And so he's just a tremendous resource. If you don't have a mentor, please find a mentor, someone who's just ahead of you in life, who can help you, help guide you, and along the way, I guarantee you can find ways to add value to them. And so another proposal I'm going to write next week. I wanted to talk about this for a minute. So I've mentioned before, there are no small projects, no easy projects, no straightforward projects. And so this fits that definition and my opinion of that very, very clearly. So I had a prospective client who connected to me through a mutual friend with what is in square footage a small project. It's an 800 square foot bathroom building to serve the amenities of an existing neighborhood. The neighborhood was developed in 0809. It didn't get finished because of the recession, and now the HOA is coming back to build these amenities. And so there's a space for a park, space for this bathroom building, things like that. And so the bathroom building is fairly straightforward in terms of, men's side, women's side, 4 stalls per side or whatever it is, and, 4 walls, a roof, those kinds of things. And I go and get the structural engineer, I get a MEP engineer to participate. We have our aspect of it, but when I'm talking to the client, I say, hey, I've got a really good landscape architect. I imagine the HOA has some planting requirements, some benches, some light posts, lamp posts, and we're going to need some sidewalk probably. So I'm going to go get the landscape architect to take a look at this to make sure that we can meet all of those site requirements of the HOA. So I send it to the structural engineer. He looks at it and he comes back and says, hey, I think this is more of a site development project than it is just this bathroom building. And so we talk, and they're going to do a playground. They need sidewalks to connect the playground. It's adjacent to a river with a runoff area, and so we've got to do something with the stormwater. So we're looking at bringing in a civil engineer to help us navigate that portion of the job. And we need a current survey. We don't have a current survey of the space, so we need a current survey. So what looked like, hey, just a really simple knock it out in less than a week kind of bathroom building, now has we see is really not as simple as we thought. And so we're going to go to the client and talk through this with them. We're trying to give them a comprehensive proposal, but we don't want them to see the proposal and just think about the bathroom building. We have to look at this comprehensively in terms of planning out the entire site so that we can meet all the codes and regulations and environmental concerns and things like that, and then also build this building. And so that is what we believe will serve them well, is bringing in a comprehensive package, really with one point of contact and not having to piece together all these subs, and that we have kind of done the work for them to say, hey, here's how we can get you from point A to point B and achieve your desired result. And that's what we're doing. But, when it started out, it was just a simple bathroom building. And now, as we dig a little bit deeper, we realize, hey, there's more to this. And the landscape architect in particular, the site development side in particular, is bigger than what any of us thought. So we're going to communicate that with the client and go over it. And maybe we get the job and maybe we don't get the job. But again, this is how we are able to provide value before any dollars are exchanged, that we try to give a really clear picture of the project going into it. And that involves understanding the land that the building is built on. So I think that's all I've got for this week. Should be a great weekend, and looking forward to next week. I've got some exciting things coming up, and so I will see y'all next week. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I would love to respond to some questions on here so that we can have a dialogue back and forth. I would really appreciate that. So look forward to seeing y'all later. Take care.